Alex pulled into the parking lot, turned off the ignition, and trembled. How could I have been so foolish, he thought. His mother's clothes no longer fit, so he'd opened a P.O. box and nervously placed a few catalogue orders, the same catalogues she used to browse. Picking up the parcels wasn't as terrifying as he expected. The clerk barely noticed him. Learning makeup was trickier. He practiced in private and slowly got better. His sharp nose still bothered him, something only surgery could fix, but everything else was improving. His thick, straight black hair had grown long enough to rival any rocker's manner. His girlfriend used to brush it whenever she could, and he loved that. Surprisingly, his parents never made a fuss about the hair. Then again, long hair had become pretty normal. A month back, he took a few Polaroids and stared hard at them. It felt like time. Venturing out was terrifying at first. He had to change clothes in secluded places, sometimes twice in one outing. But he knew the area well and stuck to quiet spots during weekdays. The churches made him uneasy, but he didn't feel in real danger. He once just drove around without even stepping out of the car. At least the AC kept him from sweating through everything. After 6 decent attempts, he gained some confidence and started running errands farther from home. One clerk even flirted with him, maybe. It was hard to tell if it was genuine or just a reaction to seeing a feminine face. Then came the riskiest move, a Saturday trip to Brentwood Park. Dad was at work, Mom out with a friend. He wore a sundress and walked across town. He made sure to stay far from familiar faces. People smiled back at him, not out of nervousness, but with ease. If they stared, it was likely because of how convincingly feminine he looked. He came home beaming, imagining a fresh start in college or maybe even sooner. But things took a dark turn. 2 days later, he found photos of himself in his school locker taken at Brentwood Park. A greeting card was taped to the clearest shot, one that unmistakably revealed his identity. It read, "See you again at Brentwood Park, Friday 7 p.m. Red pickup. Z104 sticker. Look good. Be ready to talk about these pictures. Don't pet the dog." The writing on the card looked feminine, and the front had a kitten on it. Probably a girl, he hoped. Less chance of violence, though blackmail could still be disastrous. He scanned faces all day, watching for signs. Nothing seemed off. No one acted differently. But then Friday morning came, and another card fell from his locker. Same style, same handwriting. Don't forget Brentwood Park. Friday. 7 p.m. Dress nicely, or these photos go on every wall in school. We need to talk. Now, he truly understood fear, not the sharp jolt of panic, but the slow crawl of dread. Waiting. Knowing what was coming. Then rising and walking toward it anyway. The park was nearly deserted. The pickup truck was easy to spot. Alex had dressed carefully, choosing a stylish dress from one of the more expensive catalogs. He added the clip-on heart earrings and matching necklace he'd tried out weeks ago. They gave him a polished look. He thought he resembled a high-level secretary. Like many women these days, he wore sneakers and socks over his tights. It wasn't glamorous, but it looked real. And real was the only armor he had left. He approached the truck slowly, his legs heavy with fear. His breath came short, not from exertion, but from the sheer weight of dread. The truck looked empty. No one sat inside. Was someone hiding nearby, taking more photos from the trees? He scanned the area, no movement, no glint of a camera lens, no figures lurking. It was exactly 7 p.m. Still, no one. He glanced around once more and noticed a card tucked under the windshield wiper. His stomach sank. That same kitten stared up at him again from the cover. Inside, it read, "There's a way forward. Just take it." He muttered, "Oh God," but turned from the truck and began walking down the path. It led directly into the woods. He had no idea what else to do. He nearly tripped and silently thanked himself for wearing sneakers. His footing was unsure, probably more from nerves than anything else. His head felt like it was stuffed with noise and panic. Still, he kept walking beneath the trees, until the parking lot, his car, and any escape vanished behind him. Only birdsong and the rustle of wind filled the silence. He almost turned back until a small building came into view. A card with that familiar kitten was taped to the door. He paused. Looked around. Nothing but leaves shifting in the breeze. He stepped toward it. His heart was pounding now. The place was a rundown restroom, just 2 single-person stalls in a cramped structure that smelled faintly like mildew. The card sat next to the women's sign and read, "Go inside and check your makeup." As strange as it sounded, it oddly made sense. At least the building was too small for anyone to hide in. If someone tried to sneak up, they'd have to come from outside, and he'd see it. He nudged the door open and stepped inside. The soles of his shoes stuck slightly to the floor. He wrinkled his nose. So much for women's restrooms being cleaner. Leaving the door ajar, he walked to the mirror. The lighting was dim, but enough to see his reflection. He looked all right. A thin line of sweat glistened on his forehead, not surprising. He pulled a cloth from his purse and dabbed his face. Another cloth to dry his hands, though it didn't do much. Then, a voice called from outside. "Alex." He spun around toward the open door. His chest tightened. "Alex," the voice repeated. "Come outside." His legs felt like jelly, and his whole body trembled. Still, he forced himself to move, step by step, toward the door. Right before stepping out, he paused, took a breath, and silently reminded himself, "I've worked for this my whole life. I didn't always know why, but I kept going. I knew it would be hard. I knew people wouldn't understand. But I still want this. And if I can't face moments like this, how will I ever live as the woman I want to be?" It didn't slow his heartbeat, but it steadied his spine. He drew in one last breath and stepped outside with as much poise as he could. Then from the left, the voice came again, "Alex." Alex turned, bracing himself. A young man stood there, slightly taller, with blonde hair, blue eyes, and thin wire-framed glasses. He wore a sport coat and slacks, holding a camera with a large telephoto lens. After a few moments, Alex realized he'd seen him around before, probably one of the school newspaper photographers. "Yeah," Alex said, trying to keep his voice steady. The guy handed him a plastic sleeve filled with photo negatives. "If you want these, they're yours." Alex narrowed his eyes. "What's the catch? What do you want in return?" The guy leaned casually against the wall and smiled. "When I saw you in the park, I thought I recognized you. Took me a couple of days to figure it out, school. I found your picture in the yearbook." He scratched his nose and grinned wider. "I know what you're thinking, what do I want, right?" Alex stayed silent, unsure if he should stay or bolt. "Okay, just listen before you jump to conclusions," the guy continued. "When I realized it was you, I couldn't believe it. You looked completely different. I knew it wasn't a prank or a dare, you've put real effort into this. The way you moved, the way you carried yourself, it wasn't just the clothes or the makeup. My sister went through something similar growing up. It takes work to move like that, to carry yourself with that kind of presence." Alex swallowed hard, still frozen. "I wanted to talk to you about it, but I figured you'd shut me down. So yeah, I printed those photos in my darkroom, dropped them in your locker, and waited. You took the bait." Alex opened his mouth, but the guy continued. "What do I want? I want to get to know you. Learn more about why you're doing this. That's it. I haven't told anyone. I won't. I'm just genuinely curious." Alex blinked, stunned. "That's all?" The guy smiled kindly. "Would you like to talk sometime? Maybe over dinner?" Alex felt faint and raised a hand to his forehead. Immediately, the guy was beside him, steadying him with a gentle grip on his arm. "Really, is that all?" Alex asked, voice barely above a whisper. "That's it," he replied, then gently placed Alex's hand in the crook of his elbow, holding it with his other hand. Let's go. It's getting dark. They started walking down the path. By the way, I'm Ben. Ben Hamilton. Sorry about the whole dramatic setup. Alex moved like he was in a trance, not at all how he imagined this would go. Ben spoke casually as they walked. You look amazing, by the way. Honestly, I wouldn't have known it was you if I hadn't photographed the track meet last year. One of my best shots was of you crossing the finish line. I guess I studied that face a little too much, huh? That's why I recognized you. And that dress, you really pull it off. Where'd you get it? Alex looked at him, speechless. Ben shrugged. Just making conversation. Alex tried to respond, but stumbled over his words. Relax. You'll find your rhythm, Ben said, patting his hand gently. They continued in silence until they reached the parking lot. Ben didn't let go of Alex's hand until he reached his own car. You're not going to show those photos to anyone, or tell anyone? Alex asked quietly. Ben shook his head with a soft, genuine smile. The truth is, I really like you. That's why I noticed you in the first place. So no, I won't say a word. Alex stared at him, overwhelmed but strangely calm. Ben gave a reassuring nod. Take care, okay? Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content,